I'm back, baby. Back from Boston. I'm going to be telling you about the tales of Milan Club Boston. We're going to talk about week 11 of Serie A. Obviously, Milan and Parma this weekend. We're going to be talking, Stevie P, about some news in Serie A. We're going to be going through our Fubo segment as well, getting our comments. Guys, welcome to everybody that's in the comments right now. And most importantly, right, there's the notification bell, there's the likes, all the links. Stevie P, tell the fine people what they need to do.
Guys, very important for the channel. Guys, you gotta subscribe. You gotta get us to that 3K mark. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, smash that bell button. You'll know when Vinny and I are on, me and Fabio are on, Fabio and Gio are on, Vinny and Fabio are on, Gio, Fabio, Vinny, and Steve are on. You'll know every single time we're on, guys. It's not only Milan Weekly Podcast, it's coast to coast. It's fantastic. Terry, the demon, the devil in the background with the graphics, guys. It's Presidente at Master Control. It's Gio with the Wi-Fi. It's Jan when he feels like it, the busted tweets, guys. It's a network of content that's there at your fingertips. Everything Milan, everything Serie A. Let's go. I'm freaking pissed off tonight. Let's go.
And on that note, a special shout out to our Patreon members. The link is in the comments. Thank you to every single one of you since day one. And on that note, cari amici sportivi, let's get the show on the road. Cari amici sportivi, welcome to another edition of Milan Weekly Podcast. Here we talk everything Milan, feels like a loss Milan, and Stevie P se mangia il prosciutto di Parma, non come Saelemaekers e Pulisic che sono mangiati il gol. 2-2 tie, guys, but before we get into this game, yes, winter has arrived, Stevie P, we got our first snowfall of the year. Boston, not so much. And yes, I did go to visit this weekend. We're going to be talking about the guys that were there at Milan Club Boston before we get into the game. But Stevie P, I know you said you were pissed off. I wanted to take the beginning of the show. Let's have some fun, Stevie P, because, you know, one of the favorite things around Christmas is il panettone. Allora, Tudor non se lo mangio panettone. Signore Pioli, Padre Pioli, non se la mangio panettone. And today announced Juric, anche lui non se la mangio o panettone. And I wanted to pull up, Sports Media said, put up a series of pictures of coaches most fired since the year 2000. Are you ready to have some fun and see if we could bring down memory lane, see if you could remember these people, and see if you could think, as we go, who's number one in this list? So coaches that were mostly fired since the year 2000. So Juric starts here. Let's put up in full screen here. So 5 of them. So Genoa 2016-2017, Genoa 2017-2018, Genoa 2018-2019, Roma last year, and Atalanta this year. No surprises here, Steve, from Juric getting fired, Atalanta, especially after that result.
Jan said it the best in the group chat. Juric should have never been hired for Atalanta. I don't think he was the man for the job.
Next, Steve, Roberto D'Avers. You remember him at Parma, twice Sampdoria, Lecce, Empoli. io non me lo ricordo this one, but him as well, 5 esoneri. Dopo questo, Davide Nicola, 5 of them as well, at Livorno, Bari, Udinese, Salernitana, and Cagliari.
We need to give him some props though. He's the salvation master.
That's true.
He saves a lot of teams in the bottom of the table. Did a masterful job of saving Salernitana 1 year. But again, you're seeing a very vicious circle that, as much as we want it to be funny tonight, it's pretty much sad because it's a consistent carousel of the same people getting jobs in Serie A where they're not looking outside the box.
After this, Steve, a buonanima, Malovic, 5 of them as well, at Bologna, Fiorentina, Milan, Torino, and at the end there, Bologna just before he passed away. 5 of them. Now we go into still with 5. Stefano Colantuono. It's been a while, him. Last team, Salernitana, 2021, 2022. As early as, but then again, Steve, Palermo, 2007, 2008. Who wasn't getting fired at Palermo in those years? Next up, we have Di Francesco, 5 of them as well. Lecce, Sassuolo, Roma, Cagliari, and Verona. Again, still at 5 firings. Now we get into the top tier, Stevie P. Padre Pioli, so Parma, Palermo, Bologna, Lazio, Inter, and last but not least, Fiorentina. And again, Fiorentina can come up with a win this weekend. Do you think Padre Pioli is deserved of this, 6 times fired in the last since 2000?
Look, again, at Milan, it was really an epiphany. A lot of things went well. We didn't hide the fact when we hired Pioli, even though we won the Scudetto, we were not, not a fan of his style. Again, there's certain coaches that can get you from from C to B, and then B to A, and then A to, euphoria, right? Unfortunately, Pioli is stuck in that C to B, and he went and he hit that euphoria, but he got driven right back down immediately. So there's a lifespan for these guys. The game is changing, ever changing, and it's really hard to keep a job in Serie A. There's only 20 spots, right? So it's really the 1% of the 1%.
After that, Steve, Giuseppe Iacchini, 6 times as well. Chievo, Brescia, Palermo, Udinese, Empoli, and last but not least, 5 years ago at Fiorentina. He was a face that we used to see around in the last 20 years, Iacchini.
Yes, and also the most unstylish coach out there.
After that, we have seven firings since 2000. David Ballardini at Cagliari, Lazio, Cagliari again, Palermo. It's written there, Palermo due volte, so got fired twice in 2015, 2016, and Genoa in 2018, 2019, and in 21 and 2022. He's been around, Ballardini.
Coaching carousel once again. Palermo 4. It says 2 times. It must have been 4.
It must have been 4. Again at 7 firing, Steve. Malesani at Parma, Modena, Empoli, Genoa, at 2 volte in Genoa, 2011-2012, and Palermo, last but not least, Sassuolo, in 2000. He hasn't been around in a very long time. I don't know if you have any memories of Malesani, but his face did recognize. Oh, Stevie P. I don't know if he's frozen, but next, last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, to anybody watching, guys, with 9 firings. Yeah. 9 firings, Stevie P. I'm not even going to go through all the teams, but is this a surprise to you? 9 firings in the last 20 years, and this is bad.
Yeah, very bad. We lost you for a second there. For sure, you switched from one screen to another, but no surprise, Gianpaolo is with 9 firings. This is when the coaching carousel has to stop.
This is definitely bad. So I just wanted to start you out with a bit of fun on those ones. And on that note, Stevie P, do you think anybody else will be joining the two doors, the Piolis or the Juric for this year? Che non si mangiano il panettone. Maybe they're gonna have a table altogether.
Look, I think from now till Christmas, I don't think there's gonna be much movement. I think the coaches that lost their job, you saw that it was, the writing was on the wall for them to not mangi il panettone. But I don't think there's anybody else between now and Christmas. Between now and the end of the year, I think there will be others depending on results. But at a certain point, it's not even worth making a change at the coaching helm, unless you're fighting for salvezza, because there's not enough time.
Definitely, and you know, getting into Milan's game. Gio just send us a super chat. Gio is sending us a super chat. Go support Vintage Pitch. About Fofana and Stupido cannot start again. Thank you, Gio. Thank you, Gio, for supporting your channel. We appreciate it. And Estupido, that should be. I think you started that name there, Stevie P. But
Absolutely, I never get credit for those names, but that's mine. Estupidente. Let's get into it.
I also wanted to start off heading over on Saturday to Ducali's there in Boston. Stevie P, what a nice place. What a great group of fans at Milan Club Boston, starting off with, look at Mark. Mark shows up an hour and a half before game time. He's setting up the whole thing. He's putting up flags, taking over the whole place. And, just what a great experience. And, the megaphones were there. There we are with our scarves. At Ducali's, great pizza, great food in the heart of Little Italy there in Boston. There's even his friend Mark there. Just had a great company, great times, and even taking a nice picture at the end. At least it wasn't as cold as the night before. But I just want to say a special thank you to everybody at Milan Club Boston for everything. And Stevie P, I don't know if you did take a look here, but a gift.
Boom.
A gift. And with the Montreal, 3 of them were gifted. Said one for me, one for you, and one for Presidente. I'm like, I don't know if Presidente is allowed to wear caps, with his professional, but to Mark, to Nick, guys, thank you very much for your hospitality. Mark, thank you for inviting us over to your house. Yes, I made fun of you because you already have your Christmas decorations out. Your wife took a bath. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, Stevie P. I do judge people that put out their Christmas stuff. But Mark, thank you so very much. Nick, to you as well. And did you know that Nick is the president of Milan Club Boston, Steve? He's
Yes,
an
I
accountant,
did.
and he's an accountant,
He's
and he's got the same
Boston style.
and he's got the same sexy radio voice as our president, Nick. But again, thank you to everybody out there for everything, for absolutely everything. Steve, started off great. Saelemaekers, not sausage makers. Saelemaekers is there, scores very early in the game, 1-0. We convert a penalty. Seems that everything is in control. And in the end, what are we, allergic to these small teams? A lot of people talking about, did it get to our heads? 2-0, then they scored 2-1. Let's give me your global feelings about this whole game. I know you said you were pissed off before we started, but you're maybe a roller coaster of emotions watching this game.
So we spoke about it last week with Fabio, talking about Estupidente. To start or not to start? That is the question. Well, the fucking answer was no. And there's no reason for Estupidente. Because he was a liability before he got hurt. We start the Italian kid. He has some good games, some bad.
More good than bad, Steve.
More good than bad. But let's live with that. Let's roll the dice on that. We are Milan. We're not a team that can drop points like this, because that's how crucial it is to being in first place. And what pisses me off the most in watching this game is once you see what happens at the very key moment, 46th minute, where we have players like Estupidente that are not understanding the moments. I, as someone who's new to the coaching realm, because I like to call it a realm, a lot of intelligent people that I speak to on a day-to-day understand and talk and teach about the moments. There's moments in the game. There's moments when you need to play fast. There's moments when you need to you need to control the tempo of the game. There's moments where, yes, there is the black art of you need to slow this motherfucker down because it's getting out of control. What happened to Milan after taking the lead 2-0, we were in control of the moment, Vinny. The moment was get to halftime, reassess what's going on at 2-0, and hold on for that critical 46th minute to 60th minute where there's going to be a shit ton of pressure because Parma want to get into it. But no, what do we do? And I'm not going to say we. I'm going to say Estupidente. Because that is Garage League, Beer League, IQ. I'm not even saying talent. I'm saying just IQ.
And I'm sure you're not taking anything away from the fantastic goal. It's just that letting him get
No. You're not understanding the moment, Vinny. What I'm trying to tell you, there shouldn't have been a fantastic goal. The moment there is, if you're not going to win this ball, you cannot get shoulder tackled into losing the ball. You kick it out for a throw, or you kick it as far away as you can. Because in those moments, anywhere is better than what happened.
That's what I was saying. Not taken away from that. It was the whole build-up. He shouldn't have had that opportunity to have that goal. That's kind of what I meant. And completely different mentality. Completely different mentality at 2-1, right, Steve? At halftime. Now you let them come back in.
2-0 is traditionally the worst lead in sports. In any sport, it's the worst lead in sport. The momentum can switch on a dime. At 2-1, I ripped off a cushion from my couch and held it up until into my son's face and punched the couch. Because these are the things that we teach young kids at a very young age to understand the moments of the game. He failed at that absolutely miserably. And I am shocked that he even started the second half.
Speaking of, individual errors in this game, we could talk about Estupiñán, his actions before leading to the 2-1. We can talk about Fofana not tracking back on Del Prato's header. Can we talk also about Saelemaekers and Pulisic errors for si devorano il gol della vittoria? Where would you place, no?
We can. The problem is, Vinny, we shouldn't have even had to be talking about. We had to be talking about those missed chances the same way we had a conversation on the 1-0 win against Roma. The 1-0 win against Roma, we missed chances. That's fine to close the game. And at 2-0, we should have been having that same conversation. Yay, we got the 3 points, but we missed those chances. We should have closed the game. Not, hey, we should have got those chances. We should have scored. Pulisic should have scored. Saelemaekers should have scored. And we should have won this game 3-2. There is no way that this game had to be tied at any point. Because, yes, did Parma pressure? Absolutely. But Milan in itself needs to understand that this is what's going to happen. Because once they tied it 2-2, Parma lost everything they had. They gave everything already. We were in a moment of control. And Fofana, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? You're jogging back like as if you're running in a Lululemon commercial. Put this guy in some goddamn tights, and we're doing a Lululemon commercial. This is not the midfielder of my Milan. We have a 40-year-old running, leaving his lungs out there, intercepting balls, and we have Fofana tracking back. There's a very special area in a cross where does the midfielder take him or the center back take him? We lose ourselves in there because there's no effort. There's no need for Fofana to come back there because he thinks that it's going to be dealt with. But that can't happen, guys. This is so frustrating because dropping these 2 points for absolutely no reason. Everything on Sunday and Saturday worked out in our favor in terms of like, okay, Napoli drops points, and then Inter takes care of business against Lazio, and Roma takes care of business against Udinese. I'm okay with that. But when we're not taking care of our own business, especially after leading 2-0 in a game after 30 minutes, well, there's only so much you can take as someone. At a certain point, as much as we praise Allegri, at a certain point, the blame needs to go to him. Estupiñán should not be starting. Fofana should not be starting. And then we make a change too. We make a change, Vinny. And we take out Ricci, who ran the whole game. Most kilometers. And we leave Fofana in there. And it's like, I don't know what dirty pictures you have of Allegri, but it's time that you need to come out there, Fofana.
The conversation was, and you know what, even I think the bad performances that the players we spoke about, I think is taken away from the Winters. Not good. I'm sorry. I know Tomori might not be 100%, and I'm not saying that Tomori starting would have made it a lot better, but the Winters so far has not worked out very well. But, you know, Steve, the conversation goes back. You just said that. I'm going to correlate it to that. The Ricci coming out, right? And looks like Monsieur Rabiot, il va revenir, right, in 2 weeks. And a lot of the discussion online and even in our chats is like, I don't think Rabiot is going to replace Fofana. It's going to be Fofana and it's going to be Ricci that's going to be taking the bench. Allegri's not a stupid man. He sees what we see. I don't know what he's going to do with the derby, Steve. Can he play Rabiot and Ricci at the same time? Because I felt, we spoke about it in the last couple of weeks, that the way Fofana goes up front, the way he's been missing all those shots, and I kept on saying is that, well, if Rabiot was there, he would be the midfielder doing that kind of stuff, right?
No.
Do you see this system? No?
No, it's still going to be Fofana because he's lost. Geographically on the pitch, he's absolutely lost. He needs a GPS. He needs to understand his role. And I forgot, I don't know if it was Martino or Matt or someone online who said it best. The worst thing Allegri did was tell Fofana that he needs to score. Fofana and Ruben Loftus-Cheek that they need to score 15 goals combined for Milan to be successful. No, they need to do their role. That's number one. Leave the scoring to the people who are scoring. Leão, Pulisic when he's healthy, Saelemaekers when he wants to decide to bury some goals. Fofana, his job is to recuperate balls for Modric. Now we have Modric recuperating balls and dictating play of the game, where he's unsubstitutable. We cannot take him out. We don't have someone to take him out. At 2-0, Vinny, wouldn't it have been beautiful to make it to the 80th minute and pull Modric to give him some time off? But these are the things that they build up because we keep on losing valuable leads to, I'm not even saying, I think Parma had a great start to the second half. I think Parma had a great start to the first half. I think Milan managed it correctly, got their chances, scored.
And scored.
Now it's for you to navigate your way onto the 3 points, move on, go into international break, get healthy, and worry about the derby. Now you have this negative result against Parma. You have an international break that cannot fix anything. In reality, if we go with the trend that's been happening with our international breaks, we'll probably lose 2 or 3 players and show up in the derby against Inter half a Milan. No. for the derby, it needs to be strongest team versus strongest team. I don't even want their players injured. I want everybody to be there healthy. I want to see where Milan's at. And so
Where we
far,
at?
against the Napolis, the Romas, and the Juventus of this league, we've held our own and we've played our best games against those teams. We cannot continue to drop points against the Cremonese, Pisa, Parmas of this league. This is not going to get us to what we want, and that what we want, especially where we are now in this marathon, is the second star, ladies and gentlemen. If people are hiding under a fucking rock, this here is nicely. I don't even know where I'm touching anymore. I'm just touching myself. It looks a bit weird. You can use this after, but the 4 stars, they mean something, guys. I can't wrap my head around why everybody is not understanding where we are right now. Where we are is in a position to strike. Playing once a week, I want the second star. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Finishing off this recap, Steve. I think it's been a very long while that we haven't correlated a bad performance, a loss, drop points, without comparing it to Leao's performance. We haven't mentioned him today. Was he the bright spot of this game? Do you have any other bright spots? Like, I don't think Leão did bad on this one. I know you mentioned Richie. If you had to take one positive away from this game.
Look, the positive is we're getting scoring from a Saelemaekers. You know, he's creating some damage on that right hand side, which has been almost non-existent for the longest time. The positive is Leão wanting to take the penalty shot, wanting to take the PK for the team. He understands that it's him that has to take that. Nguku wasn't great, okay, and we obviously have a problem at striker. But he did get some chances with where Suzuki, the Parma goaler, did make some saves. So yeah, but at a certain point, he was riding the bench watching Jimenez miss some chances. So if we can find something attacking wise, and I think Pulisic coming in was really great and dynamic to have him and Leão up there. I just find that I don't think Pulisic is a natural born striker. So he's got to fix something in that team where we can have all these guys firing at all cylinders, especially coming into the derby. And Max is not a dumb coach. He understands what the derby means. He's been in it before. We need to find these guys healthy and firing on all cylinders in the dog days. And the dog days are coming, Vinny. You know what they are. Yeah. We joke about the panettone, but the holidays gets tough. It's easy to drop points. And these guys, I'm going to say luckily, unluckily, are playing 3 times a week, right? And we're not. So we're going to be the most rested of the teams, and we got to punch. We got to make sure that we take advantage of this.
Most definitely, and we just spoke about different results. Let's take it over and recap for everybody together what was Week 11 in Serie A. This segment is brought to you by Fubo.tv, your home for all things the Serie A and the EPL here in Canada, and si può anche ascoltare in italiano. Stevie P, we started off the week with not a lot of goals. Not a lot of goals on this one. The Trumpets are going to be waiting for a bit later, but 1-0 Pisa, leaving it very late, I think 76th minute with... who was his name there? Anyways, 1-0, very important for La Salvezza to Pisa. Then these ones were surprising, Steve. Como Cagliari, 0-0. Lecce Verona, 0-0. And the most surprising. I don't know if you took a nap on this one here, Steve. Were you surprised by a goalless draw? Il Derby della Mole, 0-0 between Juve and Torino. And honestly, Steve, nothing to say. No controversial calls. No out of the ordinary. It was just like, yes, it was a Touré that scored for Pisa. But going back to Juve, Torino, your thoughts on this one?
Look, it's not it's not rocket science that you're seeing teams that are putting a lesser performance in right before international break. If I would go even back before the last international break, if I'm not mistaken, again, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, I think Serie A scored, set its own little record of the least amount of goals scored. So these guys understand what international break means for them if they're not going to play for their international team. It's a mini vacation. It's a mini vacation in a long, long season where they don't see their families and so on and so forth. It's very easy to switch off. Now, is it something that we want to see them switch off? Guys, I can go and I can see, you can see these triple zeros all across the board for these 3 games, Juve and Torino included. Guys, I watched EPL this week, banana soccer. That's the new thing that I'm calling it, banana soccer. Let's punt the ball as far as we can and make sure someone athletic gets on the end of it and score some goals. EPL, best league in the world, and I know football has it as well. That's where I watch it. But guys, we're losing the essence and the beauty of soccer and the chess play because it seems like, a Juventus Torino match where in before it was a derby that, yes, whether we like it or not, Juventus has been, winner more times than none. But if our draw is demoralizing to us, Spalletti, whatever hair he didn't have, he's probably growing it back, reverse baldness, because you can't watch soccer like that. That's not a Juventus that's hungry. That's a Juventus that just wants to go to international break, whether we want it or not, guys.
Just a horrible, like I said, it wasn't an exciting 0-0. Obviously, we're going to put the trumpets up for us, obviously, because you needed to have 4 goals for the last game of Saturday. After we take it over, Stevie P, the last nail in the coffin for Juric. This was a extremely surprising result, Steve, especially to Sassuolo. But is there an explanation? I don't know. Look, it's just like, go ahead.
Atalanta looked like a team that just didn't believe in their coach anymore. And it started in the Champions League midweek, him subbing off Lookman and, getting into an argument there. There's no secret that Lookman wanted to leave Atalanta. Atalanta as a team decided that they were not going to move him. Juric, I think, for the most part, really handled it well until midweek, right? I don't think he needed to have that spectacle with Lookman. It's the least thing that he needed. But Atalanta in itself has not been playing great soccer. I think, personally, he's had the lineup all wrong most of the times that I've watched Atalanta. As soon as Lookman came back, he waltzed right into the starting lineup. For me, that's a bit of a no-no for someone who didn't attend training camp and so on. And I understand he's Atalanta's prized possession, but I think he had to earn his way back. Scamacca getting injured wasn't the best thing that happened to Atalanta either, as they're missing a true striker. And I just think that the formations have been all wrong. Juric is someone who's really defensive-minded, and Atalanta has almost never been defensive-minded.
Yeah.
And now to take 3 goals from a defensive-minded coach from, bottom dweller Sassuolo, this was not at home. This was not going to end well.
Berardi with the 2 goals and Pinamonti sealing the 3 goals. Steve, c'è crisi a Napoli, 1 goal scored in the last 4. Bologna with the Dalinga and Lukumi sealing the 2-0 win. I was not expecting a convincing win from Bologna. Your take on this one? I know it's a long season, Steve. I know it. We're gonna say it, but I don't know. You think that it's starting to crack there at Napoli, or we're gonna talk about Conte after there? But what say you, man?
I think Conte's seasoned enough to understand that he can't lose his dressing room. But I want to give credit to Bologna. I watched this game, and I have to say that Bologna was impressive. I think
No, they
Bologna
were.
had Napoli's number, understood where Napoli's weakness was, and uh, and exploited their weaknesses. At center back, Napoli is weak. Don't tell me Juan Jesus and Rahmani and crew are the next coming of Beckenbauer, Maldini, and so on. you know, Napoli goes as their midfield goes. And they got Lobotka back, and in that midfield, McTominay and Agosian, when they're not firing, they are exposed, guys. And Napoli's been getting goals from contributors that are not likely scoring goals. Aguisan, I think, scored 2 times and helped them get some points or get a draw. And McTominay is not scoring like he scored last year. They need their strikers to come back into play, and their strikers are not coming into play.
So far, as we said, ain't gonna be easy playing 3 games a week. We'll see where the season goes. 11 games in, obviously, guys. There are still 27 games to go. Steve, not even a new coach can make Fiorentina get their first win of the season. 2-2, Genoa Fiorentina, and they could have very easily lost this game as well, Steve. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they're gonna have to do, Fiorentina, because I know it's 11 games. They're bottom of the table, Steve. This is not a relegation team, what we've been used to seeing in the last 10, 15, 20 years, right? But I don't even know what's the coach's name. I never heard of him, or maybe I'm not as knowledgeable as you. But Fiorentina, I don't know, Steve. They need a 5-6 game winning streak, and these are the kind of teams that are going to be hurting Le Grande maybe because you don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I don't think Fiorentina will string 5-6 in a row. But this is two new coaches. Genoa's bench is occupied by De Rossi right now, taking Vieira's spot. So two new coaches, still getting a draw. I think much more beneficial to Genoa than it is Fiorentina. I think Fiorentina, with their new coach, they need to be able to give him time. He needs to be able to assess this team and figure out why they can't create chances for Moiskin. They need to shore up their defense. It seems like every week there's a 2 next to the opponent that Fiorentina is playing, and whether they score 2 or not, they usually end up with a draw or a loss. So Fiorentina's in trouble. It doesn't look good, but I think they need to give their coach time. Genoa, on the other hand, they have De Rossi. It's a very big gamble. They went from an ex-player Vieira to another old player, De Rossi. I spoke about it at the beginning about coaching carousel. I'm excited that they're trying new things. Genoa has some history. De Rossi has some work to do, right? And there was a great moment I saw online. I don't know how Fiorentina fans took it, but Dzeko coming into De Rossi's press conference and
Press
giving him a
conference.
kiss. I don't think know the time, feel the moment, Zeko. I don't think that was the moment.
Do it behind the cameras. Roma was in first, Steve, for a couple of hours. Pellegrini on a penalty, Celik in the 61st. Udinese, being the Udinese, we know that they won't show up when we need them to show up. But Roma, I don't know, Steve, are they for real? It's 11 games, and Gasparini, you can see the quality they had at Atalanta, seeing what Atalanta is doing right now. But to be taken seriously, yes. But are they for real? I'm not sure.
Look, I'm not a fan of Gasparini. I've never
We
hit
know
it.
that.
I never hit it in the 13 years that we've been doing this. I don't know what to expect from Roma. Week in and week out, you're getting something different. You're getting, the performance against Milan, which was not, a great Roma. But Roma took care of what they had to take care of. They took care of their business, and Milan didn't, and they're ahead of us now.
Steve Sarri, he decided to say that when you go down 1-0 after 3 minutes, it's very hard to get back into the game. And I was listening to that. I was like, but doesn't that give you the most time to get back into the game? Which I didn't understand on that one. Hold on, the TV just turned off by itself.
While Vinny turns on his magic TV, it seems that Sari doesn't understand because of nicotine issues. That he didn't watch he didn't watch Parma Milan, where Parma came back from 2-0 down to get points. Sari is a very strange character. It seems like it's everybody else's fault but his all the time. At a certain point, you need to call a spade and say Inter was just much better than Lazio in this game. Inter at home is very strong. Inter in itself is very strong. I've always said it, and I'm not afraid to hide it. When Inter is clicking, Inter is clicking. And he went on to say after that. He went on to say after that now he wants refs from abroad because the current refs are not good enough.
We should bring them from abroad. I love that one, but in the end, Inter a better team, and it showed. And guys, that was your Week 11 recap. Week 11 recap brought to you by Fubo.tv, your home for all things Serie A and EPL here in Canada. Steve, Patreon, that we're so disgusted with this result. No questions from Patreon. But let's close this off this week with Conte. Looks like watching it during the cable box. No, because I went to Salem and there was some sort of witch that gave me something and put a spell on the TV. Steve, Conte sembra che c'aveva male di pancia, that some players that he ruffled the wrong feathers and they went after him and they answered him back what they were saying in the newspapers in the Champions League. 1 goal in 4 games, but ADL came out today. No. I'm very happy to have Conte by my side. Everything is fine. Everything is dandy. Steve, if Napoli doesn't come up with a couple of results, is it a simple, we've seen it all before?
ADL is taking a page out of the book of Silvio, I call it. The book of Silvio is deflect, 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 and when you can't deflect, lie. And yes, you are correct, Vinny. Napoli needs to get results. Napoli needs to show that they are the champions of Italy. They are in the Champions League. This is the big show here. We're not here for telenovela style newspaper clippings or articles or clickbait here. This is what it means to be a champion. Everybody has a target on your back. Everybody wants to grab 3 points from you, and they will not hesitate to do so. Look at Bologna. They did not hesitate one bit. They took it to Napoli. They were not afraid. They were brave, and they took those points. Milan did the same thing to Napoli. It's a couple of times now. Napoli looks like a scared puppy that needs to be adopted.
We'll see what musters up from there, but it is in 2 weeks, Steve. It's the derby. We'll see what happens with this 2 weeks off. I like what you said. Give me the best team on the pitch, what you have available, right? Because I want to make sure that let's see where we're at, and I'm sure the discussion will come back to, well, we can't beat the small ones, but we could beat the big ones. It's an Inter home game. Hopefully, that if nobody does get hurt, bring out your best 11. And are we expecting? It's hard to say in 2 weeks from now, but is Allegri gonna get it done against Inter? Because let's put Og there, guys. 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, Inter only have 8 points. Look at them. As the season is long, and look at them today, right? They're tied for first with Roma in points. We have, would you say our first big test of the season was Roma test? this is the big test of the season, 12 weeks in.
No, I think Milan had quite a bit of tests. I think if we're going, the Napoli was a test, Juve was a test, and Roma was a test. This is just
True.
our fourth test of the year. And where are we at? Are we playing with the big boys at the top of the table, or are we looking to finish third or fourth and be happy with Champions League football next year? These are the games. These are the games that really make an impact and can really create a positive outcome of games moving forward. Unless we start playing Pisa, Cremonese, or Parma again, we need to figure it out, and we need to make sure that we're collecting the points, because once we start hitting the dog days, it's going to be tough. And at a certain point, Milan's going to be somewhere hard to play because of the Olympics. So I foresee that being a bit of a distraction as well.
Is the Australia thing signed, Steve? I think they were trying to add rid. I gotta double check, because that whole Barcelona game, they ixed it. Now you're not going to Miami.
Yeah,
You're gonna
I
keep
don't
it
know.
in Spain.
I don't know if they're keeping it. I honestly, as much as I love my Australian friends, I love everybody, all the Milan fans in Australia. I think this is not the time or the year to make such a trip at this pivotal point in the season. I am really, really sorry. I am even saying this. I'm someone who loves seeing calcio anywhere that it could be played, but I think this is just way too much travel for a game of this magnitude. It's going to be a tough one. It's against Como.
It's against Como, but I think, I don't know if it was officially official, but we'll see in the next couple of weeks, Steve. On that note, guys, the most important thing, because there is 2 weeks off, correct, Steve? Well, 2 weeks off for Milan, but I don't know, are we going to go on or we're not going to go on? The most important, guys, and it helps the channel, it helps the algorithms. Please do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. Stevie P, smash it, as you say, smash everything. Support us anywhere that you can. Notifications, subscribe to our channel. The podcasts you've seen since the beginning of the season are uploaded as fast as possible to be downloaded on all platforms. Patreon, thank you very much for everything that you guys do to support the super chats. Once again, thank you, Gio, for today. And on that note, guys, we'll see when we speak to each other the next times. 2 weeks international break. Steve is already ready for international break, because let's just secure ourselves and give ourselves a chance to this World Cup, shall we?
Yeah. Parting shots for me, guys. The last thing I want to leave is a great story. Guys, I want to shout out Gabe Mahay from the United Kingdom of Britain.
Tell us, Steve.
Gabe, fantastic. Ordered a vintage pitch t-shirt, of course, Rossoneri. Forza Milan, Gabe. I'm going to get you that t-shirt by hook or by crook. If I got to swim the Atlantic myself, I'm going to get it to you. But all jokes aside, Gabe, thank you for the support. He loves the Milan Weekly podcast. He buzzed when he saw that it was Stevie P who was replying to his emails, because Stevie P does customer support too for Vintage Pitch, guys. So, guys, as Gabe did, check us out, vintagepitch.com, guys. Fantastic t-shirts. Have a look-see at the Vintage Pitch social media on Instagram and on TikTok, guys. I'm going to be doing some special things where I'm going to review my own t-shirts. Hello!
Or you could ask the ones that I brought, Border, what do you have to declare? Nothing. I don't have anything to declare. Guys, enjoy the t-shirts to Mark and Nick. The extra ones are on me and Stevie P. And guys, please enjoy. Give us a little twirl once you wear it. You can see how comfortable these things are. They're really fantastic. Guys, on that note, man, help us get to 3,000 subscribers. We will see each other soon. Ovunque e sempre.
Forza Milan!
Ciao.